Shalom. This is my name is Yehoshua Ya'acov from Jerusalem. We offer greetings to the Roman Catholic Pope on his visit to America. I'm an American citizen. I live in Jerusalem for 22 years. Pope Benedict, before you were Pope, you were, of course, Archbishop Ratzinger from Germany, and in 1994, you attended the Jerusalem conference, as did I. And the meeting was, shall we say, a bit disappointing, but events and circumstances could explain that. Not a peep. Now, the purpose of this video, first again, thanks for your visit to America and inspiring the faithful. I'm sure it will be appreciated by all the Roman Catholics and many others as well. I'll return to the subject of the Jerusalem conference in a minute, but in our tradition in Israel and in Torah, as you well know, our spiritual leaders are those who are closest to God, and so you, in your speech, in your video, preparing to come to America, you spoke about what our sage Hillel taught, namely that do not do to yourself what is hateful to others. Sorry, I'll repeat that. Do not do to others what is hateful to you. Okay. Now, in the redemption, which we are now in, the articulation of the law of redemption is do not do to yourself what is hateful to you, and only this will uphold the law of redemption, which is kabel b'shvilatet, and that's Hebrew for receiving to give. Receiving what? Receiving the authentic you, to give the authentic you, to your family, to your community, and to your nation, and to the world. Okay. This is not something that is known or practiced or understood in Catholicism. I was born Michael Francis O'Donnell. I was raised in an Irish Catholic community. With my mother being Jewish, I left at approximately the age of bar mitzvah and gravitated to eventually coming up to Israel some 22 years ago. I converted formally in 1986. But the fact that my mother was Jewish, that was unnecessary, but I didn't really know that until more recently. But okay, that said, let us go on to a couple things. The first comment about do not do to others what is hateful to you. In redemption, again, I repeat, that changes. Do not do to yourself what is hateful to you, quote unquote, as only then will you uphold the law of redemption, which is, I repeat, kabel b'shvilatet, receiving to give, is the meaning. Now, I noticed that you published an additional list of sins to be added to the catechism and to the prayers of the Catholic Church, but significantly, the most significant sin of man and mankind's exile is the sin of omission. That is not on your list, and so I urge you to make that, to correct that. And if you don't know what the sin of omission is, perhaps by the end of this video, you will. Now I will brief you as rapidly and as fastly as I can on the most important thing that I think the event of the century, perhaps the millennium, most probably the millennium as well. And it is this, the collapse of the local reality that began in 1991 with the collapse of the communism of the Soviet Union, which next collapsed communism in the next year, 1992, in Yugoslavia, came to Israel in 1995, collapsed the local reality with Zionism, with the murder of Rabin, the World Trade Center, etc. In Iraq, the collapse of the Ba'athists, and so on and around the world. The local reality is collapsing, and the local reality is giving to receive. And it is now the halakha of redemption that is kabel b'shilatet, receiving to give. Having said that, that's another thing that is not very well known or understood. But there is one thing that we all must become aware of, and that is that Islam, Christianity, and Judaism all have three things in common, and that is the collapse of the local reality, which signals the end of man and mankind's exile. Christianity, Catholicism, in both Protestant and Catholic constructs and all of their variants, and Islam will undergo a fundamental transformation with the collapse of the local reality and the end of man and mankind's exile. Judaism is undergoing it right now, and it began with the 1995 collapse of the local reality, which was Zionism. Well, Zionism, Israel's secular nation, is a contradiction. When Israel accepts the local reality and deconstructs ground zero, deprograms the mind of exile, and is restored to its authenticity and its and its roots in the Bible and Torah, it will be a religious nation of moderates, of both secular and religious, and it will make peace sustainably with all of its neighbors. That's its future. But in the meantime, it is to be noted, and I want to call attention to this fact, that in respect of Islam and Christianity, there will be a very definite transformation, an implosion of the religions as they presently exist today, to undertake a fundamental transformation of the new paradigm, where man moves from a behavioral man to a cognitive man, from giving to receiving to give. These are facts that are on the ground already. This reality and its articulation is not well known or understood, or much less comprehended, but this is where we are in the history of man and mankind. And so, to my former fellow Catholics, to my brothers in the Islamic world, we're talking over 1 billion people in both religions. This is the most important development and event, and it has begun. It's irreversible. And what replaces the collapse of the East-West systems as well of communism and capitalism is Humanomics. And Humanomics is comprised of two paradigms, receiving to give, which is the new cognitive science behavioral paradigm, and integration of labor, which is the new economic paradigm that replaces the division of labor. The devolving construct of Humanomics is the redemption of man and mankind globally. This is what's coming out from Jerusalem. It's going to change fundamentally and structurally Christianity, Islam, the world. And it's going to change America in the G9 and the LDCs. And so we wish you blessings for your visit. I'm Yehoshua Ya'acov, a spiritual leader that lives in Jerusalem, a former American citizen. I thank you for listening, and we wish you kabel b'shvilatet, which is Hebrew for receiving to give. Amen and amen. Thank you for listening. Shalom from Jerusalem.